Good afternoon, Justin O'Keefe from Talent Force Recruitment, continuing our mission to help parents who are returning to work or simply people who are after more family friendly or flexible jobs. It's been a whole month since our last video. Our apologies, we've had a bit of a break. So today we're going to do something very straightforward, and it's something we deal with every time we talk to every day we talk to candidates, absolutely every single day. So this is perhaps our observations in the last couple of weeks, having looked at hundreds of CVs. We would ask, before you do anything more on your CV, you send it to one more person, you do a very simple NCT, a simple basic check to make sure that when you put your CV forward for that role, that it really does you justice and it does the job it needs to do. So the first thing we would ask you to do, actually before number one here, would be to look at the application engine. Is it a Monster? Is it Indeed? Is it Recruit Ireland? Whatever the website is, and go have a look at the version of your CV that you're using. I would say 20 to 30% of CVs that we receive are simply out of date. People are sending the wrong version, they haven't uploaded, they're not quite sure what they sent. So go double check that. So I'm not even going to start looking at very much the contents of these. I'm going to look at overall some high level stuff, and we could we can do a course on action words and how to bring your story to life. But these are some real fundamental technical items around your CV. So the first thing we would often see is people include their date of birth and an address and a landline number up at the very front. And we would say most of the time a date of birth simply isn't necessary. On the other hand, we would say an address probably is. It's unusual to have a CV without address, or even have a location. If you're in Dublin 18 or Dublin 24, wherever it is, Dublin 2, say that you live in Dublin 2. So date of birth, absolutely, definitely not. It's very, very unusual. It's much more used in graduate CVs. And an address, a location where you are, yes. Starting to come in very slightly now. You'd see very much in maybe graphic design CVs starting to creep in, is a question of a photo. It's absolutely a personal choice, and towards the higher end jobs, it's quite unusual, but it is starting to happen. So again, personal preference. For the moment, I'd probably suggest not. Okay, so LinkedIn. Should I include a LinkedIn profile if your profile is any good? Absolutely. It's a verification check. It's something that a recruiter or a company can use to do a quick check. Are you who you say you are? Is what you're saying accurate? So that leads to the question of, should you have a LinkedIn profile? Absolutely. If it's very unusual not to. Email, phone. Simply do a double check that you actually have an email and a phone number on your CV. Again, about 10% of CVs we would have coming in don't actually have an email address. Okay, so is it there? I know it ought to be there. Should you be using a work email address or a personal email address, perhaps a personal one? And double check what that email address looks like. Just go for something nice and simple. Sean Burke at gmail.com, or something, something very similar. Not something deeply personal about your around the world trip or a stag weekend. Phone number, landline generally isn't necessary. A mobile number absolutely will suffice. This is the number people will contact you on to have a chat with you. The length, we would absolutely recommend 2 pages. See many CVs 4, 5, 6 pages. You need the purpose of the CV is to pique the person's interest, to get you into the interview process. Being concise, telling your story, talking about your achievements, and having more detail in the more recent job. But length, 2 pages, absolute maximum 3. Starting to see some 1-page CVs starting to creep in now. We would say stick with 2. References, absolutely not necessary at an early stage. I definitely wouldn't include them. And the fact that they're available on request is absolutely a given. The sequence of jobs, I would absolutely start with the most recent first, working backwards. Some people try and disguise career gaps or breaks in what they've been doing by altering the sequence. I would simply keep it sequential. Big one. Should my CV be modified slightly for each application? And we would suggest that probably 10%, 20%, 30% should be customized. Okay, so check your address, check your date of birth, take it off. Add a photo if you need it. Put your LinkedIn profile. Make sure you have the email address, the phone. Stick to 2 pages, maximum 3. 1 is simply too short. There just isn't enough information there. You do not need to even reference references. The sequence, make sure it's nice and sequential and clear and understood. And as regards jobs, I would stick with months, you know, rather than somebody put in, I start on the 11th of February. I start the job in February. Absolutely fine. And should I be making it bespoke? Absolutely. So a very, very quick NCT, a quick double check. Should take you no more than 5 minutes to do this check. Some high level technical things that recruiters and reviewers and companies are looking for when they look at your CV. Never even mind the content. I hope this helps. Any questions, please feel free to give us, myself or Julie or Kathy, a call on 01 908 1514 or email us, justin@talentforce.ie. Thanks for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.